Welcome to the Girls Place Inc. online volunteer training program. This program will help you get familiarized with Girls Place programs, rules, and policies so that our staff, members, and volunteers are all on the same page. Before you begin your volunteer experience, you must first obtain a copy of the volunteer manual and watch this online orientation. At the conclusion of this presentation, we ask that you take a brief quiz to verify that you understand Girls Place rules and policies. A detailed checklist is also provided at the end of this presentation for your convenience. Once again, thank you for your interest in volunteering at Girls Place Inc. It is with dedication and passion from volunteers like you who give our girls a safe place to go and grow into thriving young ladies. Girls Place Inc. is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering girls of all racial, religious, and economic backgrounds to grow confident, strong, and independent in order to thrive in the world around them. Some objectives for our girls to grow are to give to themselves and others around them and in order to achieve a sense of pride and self-worth, to reach their highest intellectual and emotional potential by exploring and developing their personal strengths and interests, to open their eyes in a climate free from gender stereotypes where they're inspired to discover their unique abilities and their relationship to our community, to work at developing meaningful relationships that foster their freedom of expression, their responsibility to themselves and others, and their integrity and compassion. It's important for our volunteers to be on board with our mission and objectives for our girls. In front of you, you have some volunteer opportunities available to any volunteer, ranging from recreational aid assistants all the way down to athletics coaches. Please stick to the hours you were scheduled for. If you, for whatever reason, will be late or miss the assignment that you were given at the last minute, notify staff by calling the front office to let us know. You can reach us at 352-373-4475. And it's always wise to follow up whatever contact you had with the staff member with an email to let us know what happened, as soon as you get the chance, of course. Casual clothing is the norm at Girls Place, but use your professional judgment and dress conservatively when working with children. Some examples of inappropriate dress might include clothing with messages that depict drugs, violence, alcohol, tobacco, or are sexual or discriminatory in nature, clothing with inappropriate language or messages, or clothing that is tight or revealing. Volunteer applications can be filled out online. This is the preferred method at girlsplaceinc.org. Or it can be filled out in person at the front office between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Below is our address if you need to MapQuest us. Please note that applications are viewed once per week. So if you require specific times and dates for your volunteering experience, please submit your application well in advance for us to review and accept it. Remember, volunteers, to conduct yourself professionally at all times by embodying the highest ethical standards, by treating all people with dignity and respect, and always upholding and enhancing the reputation of Girls Place and the well-being of our members while on our property. Remember, you are a role model to girls and representatives of our agency, and we expect you to live up to that expectation. Everyone in the building has the right to play, study, or work in an environment free from discrimination or harassment. We take this policy very seriously and have a very low tolerance for these acts of harassment. Some examples might include unwelcome or unwanted advances, unwelcome requests or demands for favors, verbal abuse or kidding, including dirty jokes or comments about someone's origin, race, sex, age, body, or disability. Distributing, displaying, or discussing any written graphic material that shows hostility toward a group of people is also another form of harassment. If at any time you suspect possible child abuse or neglect of one of our members, please notify staff immediately so that we can take the proper steps. The safety and security of our members is of the utmost importance to us. Volunteers are expected to behave in appropriate and professional manners at all times. Any actions, comments, or behaviors that are threatening to members, staff, or other volunteers will not be tolerated. Examples of violent behavior include, but are not limited to, punching, hitting, shoving, pushing, kicking, or tripping. If an accident or injury should occur to a child, please contact the closest staff member immediately so that they can write up a report. Give as much detail about the incident as possible to that staff member so that they can take the proper steps necessary. If an accident or injury should happen to you while you're volunteering with us on site, please contact any staff member, including the executive director, immediately and decide what's the best action to take, if any. If medical attention is required, the injured volunteer must give a full report to the executive director before they leave the premises, of course, if the injury permits this. Cell phone usage. Volunteers are permitted to use their cell phones as needed on the premises. However, usage should be kept to a minimum and should not interfere with the workday or responsibilities of the volunteer at that time. This includes phone calls, text messaging, email, and internet usage via cell phones. Remember, if you're here with us volunteering, you're here to be with the girls. Girls Place computers may be used for direct business purposes only, such as seeking information about news, weather, travel, directions, or specific program activities for the day. The use of social networking sites on Girls Place computers is strictly prohibited. And on that note, if you are a member of any of the popular social networking sites such as Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, do not post any messages, post pictures, or any general posts about Girls Place members. Also, do not accept friendships from Girls Place members. It's just best to keep that line between you and the member, and it also protects you and your privacy as well. Girls Place Inc. does not assume responsibility for loss or damage to a volunteer's personal property on Girls Place Inc. premises, and does not reimburse for any losses or damage to personal property resulting from theft, fire, automobile accidents, or any other condition for which personal insurance is available. Smoking is prohibited in the presence of Girls Place members. It is prohibited in any part of Girls Place Inc. facility, including the outdoor area and the parking lot, and including your vehicle in the parking lot. Volunteers who choose to smoke must do so completely off Girls Place grounds and away from our program space and children served by our agency. Girls Place Inc.'s smoking policy always complies with the current state laws. Use of drugs, alcohol, and any other mind-altering substances on agency grounds at any time is strictly forbidden and will not be tolerated at Girls Place Inc. Volunteers and staff are also prohibited from using alcohol while at work or reporting to work while under the influence of alcohol or illicit drugs. We have a zero-tolerance policy for these types of actions. Volunteers may not use or disclose any confidential information, knowledge, or important data received or developed during their volunteer experience, unless specifically authorized to do so by Girls Place staff. Remember, if at any time you're approached by a member of the press who's seeking any information, positive or negative, about our organization, always refer them to the executive director rather than handling the question yourself. Below is a list of holidays that we traditionally observe at Girls Place. If for any reason you're not sure if we're open or closed on these holidays, contact the supervisor. You can contact the front office and ask what our schedule will be like on that particular holiday. Some important hints for working with young ladies. Ex-volunteer manual describes hints for working with young ladies and the do's and don'ts of volunteering. We strongly recommend you go over these hints and suggestions as they will aid greatly in your volunteer experience. Before you begin your experience, you must complete everything on this checklist. Applications, volunteer manual, and link to the quiz can all be found on our website. The affidavit of good moral character and a tour of our facility can be provided the day you begin your volunteer experience, but must be complete before you begin. If you have any additional questions or comments, please contact the front office at 352-373-4475 or email us at info@girlsplaceinc.org. Thanks for watching!